What's up guys, my name is VK and welcome to another exciting, phenomenal, gracious video effect tutorial. Hope you guys all doing well, and I'm super hyped about this project. You know why? Since this effect, the Portal VFX you just saw, this is the most requested tutorial on this channel throughout the times, period. And I went all out on this tutorial. I wanted this to be perfect, and you will learn every little single trick you need to know about creating portal effects. So what I'm talking about is, of course, the fiery blue flame kind of energy going on around the circle. Inside the circle on that side, we got this multitude of colors here. We got some cool glowings. It's perfectly tracked to a wall. Well, that's the easy part. But also this, when the camera is moving around the portal, you can see the parallaxing effect, and that means from the right kind of angle you can see through the portal. It's not just like we have just put a video on the wall in 2 dimensions. It has that 3D parallaxing effect. So that is the small things that will make this look even better. So also some heat distortion, that's optional, but I'm gonna cover everything you need to know in this tutorial right now. So hey, what are we waiting for? Let's just dive in. And of course, now I'll tell you before we begin, my footage and also my Through the Portal second footage is available to be downloaded for you guys absolutely free in the description down below. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin this tutorial. Alright, so let's go ahead and take our main footage and drag it to a new comp button here. And here we have our footage, so we can turn off the sound because we don't need that. And it's just a plain art footage of me walking around the wall, and then we want to add that portal effect right here. So the first thing to do is to 3D track our footage, and I have 3D tracked a whole bunch of video effects in so many kind of tutorials. Check out the cards to see a few, and if you don't know how to 3D track your footage, check out one of those tutorials. But if you do know, it's super simple. You just click on a button and it starts 3D tracking. So I will be back with you guys when I have 3D tracked this, but I'll show you the first step is just click track camera and it starts analyzing in background. But I will be back when this has analyzed ready. So yeah, just wait just like a second. Alright, back from the past. Now we have created our 3D camera and created a solid matching the wall's perspective. And if you're still wondering what the hell just happened, I just let the clip analyze and then use that 3D information to get a target that represents the wall's perspective and everything, and then just create a solid that when we play this footage it will match and stick on that wall. So and we can change it to white, and if it's a different color, just click Command Shift Y or Control Shift Y and get your solid settings and change it to white. And we can also change the name of this solid. Let's go ahead and change it to matte, and you will understand why it's gonna call matte for a reason in about 10 minutes. I don't know, that's just an approximation. So now we have this, and now let's go ahead and leave this comp as it is right now, and we can go ahead and create another comp just for the portal effects. So go to the project panel and click on this new comp button, and in the composition settings, let's call this portal ring. Let's make it that's the comp size 1920 by 1080, 25 frames per second. That's cool, and click OK. So here we're gonna have to start building our ring element here. So I have here a couple fire elements over from ActionVFX.com. You have heard about these guys. They are awesome, and they have been helping out with a lot of my projects on this channel, and they create really top of the line action VFX you can use. They're super high quality and all that kind of cool stuff. So I have here a couple, and if you want, you can get one exclusively from Phenomenal Creations, exclusive from this video. You will be able to download one of these elements in 720p pre-keyed down in the description if you want yourself a fire trail element, so you can download it and do this effect at your house. So that's super cool. And also what's good to know that ActionVFX are kind and cool enough to guys let you have my promo code, a promo code to go to their website and get stuff cheaper. So head over to actionvfx.com and use the checkout code phenomenal2017 to hook yourself up 20% off any purchase you want from their website. They are awesome enough to have me this promo code for you guys, so use it however you want. And yeah, so check the links in the description and get to know those people better. But hey, let's not do that anymore. Let's go ahead and start creating this portal effect. Sorry about that. So let's go ahead and take one of these fire elements. Let's put them here. Let's go ahead and we don't need this animation where it starts burning. So let's go ahead and see it when it's fully flamed up. Let's go ahead and position it somewhere around in the middle. Let's go ahead and scale it down. And just a warning, this effect will be pretty graphically insensitive since we're stacking a super lot of elements in this tutorial. So start working with half or third or quarter quality depending on your computer performance and speed, because this is gonna be some pretty hefty stuff. I have a pretty strong computer, but still this will stutter even for me at times. So okay, let's go ahead and put this fire element somewhere here on the right side. Left side. Let's take our other fire element and let's also let it do its thing there. Let's put it here next, so it's the width of the whole composition here. That's what we want. All right. Okay, so if we check out how this looks something like this. It's just like a line of fire. It looks pretty weird. Why do we want a line of fire? Well, you will understand in just like a minute or so. So creating this fire element is our base for the ring element, and we're gonna use effect to make this line to a ring. So what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and pre-comp these two fire elements and use pre-comp as Shift Command C or Control Shift C and have pre-compose or layer composition pre-compose. You know the drill. And let's go ahead and call this inner circle. Cool. Then what we do is we go ahead into the effects and presets and find polar coordinates. This is a very cool effect. It doesn't have so many use cases, but for this, when you have a line, you can make it circle. This is the effect you want to go with. So I'm gonna drop it to the inner circle, and let's have it from rectangular to polar and interpolation. Boom, 100%, and we got ourselves an inner ring of fire. That's cool. Okay, so this is pretty insensitive for your computer to render out, so I have just a couple seconds here. So this is basically what it looks like. But we can just have the inner circle. We need the outer circle as well. So what we can do is let's go ahead and duplicate this composition, but let's not duplicate here inside the composition, because then any changes we do into that composition will happen to the other one as well. So let's go ahead and duplicate it in the project panel. So this is a cool trick for you to know. So let's duplicate it, Command D, Control D, and let's rename this to outer circle. And then if we drop in the outer circle, put it here on top, and go to the effects and presets panel, and take the polar coordinates, put it over there. So the things we do in this composition won't affect the inner circle. So let's go ahead to the outer circle composition, and let's select both the layers and go to transform and go to flip vertical. So they're upside down. And why we're doing upside down stuff is then when we do the polar coordinates, it will be on the other side of the ring. So now let's just go ahead and place them in the middle somewhere. And let's take this element. Oh, just light them up like this. So it looks like this. Cool. If we go back to the portal ring, now it's upside down, and we use the polar coordinates. Boom. Oh no. Rectangular to polar, and we scaled up, and we got ourselves an outer ring. Let's paste it up in the middle, and let's go ahead and scale it up a touch like this. And what we have here is a fiery ring of goodness. And we can go ahead and make some changes into this because you can see it's a direct mirror image of the elements. We can do some changes. We can go ahead and rotate this around so we don't have the exact same kind of thing happening over and over again. Then also what we can do is we can go ahead and speed this up, this outer circle, for about with the time stretch, something like 75% here. And so this will give a little bit of a different look. Nice. So here we have some pretty cool stuff going on, and we can go ahead and let's go ahead and change the size for the inner ring. You can manipulate the ring however you want, and that's the best part of this whole thing here. Is if we go ahead and zoom down here like this, then we can go ahead and select these both elements, take this one rectangle here and make this a little bit smaller, so when you go back to the portal ring, we can decrease the size. For that we can do the same thing with the inner circle, decrease the size, and we'll back to the portal ring. Now it's not as intense of the ring as you saw in just a couple seconds ago. We just need this settled amount of like ringy stuff happening here. So this is our portal ring and it looks pretty cool. And the next thing to do is to go ahead and pre-comp these two layers, pre-comp them, and let's call it portal comp. So now we have one comp for the whole portal effect here. And then what we do is let's go ahead and scale it down and take these boxes to like stretch it out to like a portal form. Like this. Way too simple. It's that simple, alright? Now, we don't want this fiery look. You know, in the games you got the blue and the orange look, but I want to go for the blue. So let's go ahead and change, find tint effect in our like effects and presets panel. Let's drop it down on the portal comp to make it black and white. Why we do it black and white is because now it will be so much easier to color grade it to any color we want. And I'm gonna use a plugin to colorize this. This is absolutely free. It's from Video Copilot. And yes, Video Copilot has nothing to do with this episode. They have just created a very cool plugin and I love to use it, and it's completely free. And the link is down in the description. So this is just a very good plugin that colorizes anything that's black and white to these vibrant colors with those cool highlights and stuff and so on. Let's go ahead and change the color to something like a light blue here. Something like this. And this is super contrasted. This looks super contrasty, and our footage is pretty, it's filmed in log, so it's a flat color profile. We can't really have this kind of super intense color stuff happening. So let's go ahead and change on some values here. So I have put the vibrance to 0.34. That could be good. That just flattens out the whole effect. Let's go to 0.60 in preserve luminance. Let's go to the brightness and drop it down just a touch to 0.91, 0.90, somewhere around there. It's pretty good. Let's just lift the gamma, basically the contrast, to 1.12. Like this. It looks pretty flat, it looks pretty boring, but when you do your color grades, this will look a lot better. And then just click on this fill empty background. Let's just click on matte alpha on, so it takes away the black, but still we do see that extra detail in the shadows. Okay, so keep that on just for like extra realism. Then what we can do is to add a bit of those violet color shifts you saw in the original example. It's also super easy to do. Let's go ahead and just duplicate this portal comp layer here and change the VZ color vibrance to something violet, pinkish, violet, pinkish. If you look how this looks, yeah, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take the masking tool and just make some small masks here, a little bit here and there, just small masks around this place. Cool. So if you now check it out, it doesn't look that big of a difference, since the right behind the layer, it doesn't look so good. Let's go ahead and for the thread, let's go ahead and feather it out just a touch. Select every one and use like 20 pixels. So we got 20 feathering for everything. Let's just speed this comp about 50%, like this. So now when we look at this, it will have a bit of the different kind of animation, since it's working a little bit faster. Then we can go ahead and drop the opacity down to something like 80%. Let's make it 70%. This is just to play around like this. As you can see, this is freaking intense on the computer. It will take time to render out anything here. So I will skip this. I will go back to the when we're ready with this composition, then we can see the final render, which would probably look better. So now we have created our portal comp in its full glory there. So now the next thing to do is to put this portal element on our footage. So let's go and do that. So in the main footage comp, we can see the stuff we have been creating. We have okay, so now it's saving. That's good. So we have our white solid there. We don't need to see that. Let's go ahead and select that off. Let's go ahead and drag our portal comp and put it right over there. Now here is our portal. And now we're gonna make to put it on the wall. So let's go ahead and turn it 3D first of all. Now it's 3D, but it's entirely in the wrong place. So okay, it is tracked. That's cool and all, but it's in the wrong place. So let's go to the matte we just had. It's the drag style. Let's click on position and just highlight the position and copy it. Command C, Control C. Go to the portal ring and paste it, the position. Then let's go ahead and scale it up like crazy, so it matches the size we want. Let's go ahead and move it somewhere around here. Scale it up even further, like this. So we can go ahead and change some rotational aspects if you want to. A little bit more like this, so it of the wall itself, something like this. So now when we look, it is perfectly tracked to our footage. We got our cool portal effect. That's cool, but well, it's not a portal effect if we don't have anything inside the portal. So the next thing to do is to create this the stuff that's going inside the portal. So how we're gonna do this? It's pretty freaking simple. Let's just go to the second footage we can find here, and you will also be able to download this in the description if you want to. Now let's go ahead and drag it on our footage right here. And let's go ahead and close it off for just a second. Now let's make our matte inside the portal, because we are going to use alpha matting to make our life easier, because you know I love using alpha matte. So let's select our matte layer here. And what we're going to do now is go ahead and place it somewhere around in the middle. Let's go ahead and scale it up like crazy, so it fills the entire frame here. Let's go ahead and rotate it so it does have everything. We can see the whole effect. Okay, cool. So now we got some sound again. So when we look at this, now we can see there we have this white framing around our portal. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and create a mask. Go ahead and select the ellipse tool, have the matte layer selected, and double click on the ellipse tool to create an elliptical mask. And then just shift click on one of the points here, and then just put them at the side of the portal like this. And then use these anchor knobs to like fine tune it to our portal here. So basically what we would have here when we play the clip, we can see just a white like circle around our portal. And this is because we're gonna use this as our alpha matte when we put the second clip in here. So let's go ahead and put the second footage on here. And now we're gonna put this as an alpha map. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this footage underneath our matte layer. Let's go and make it 3D. And let's take the same position as the matte layer here. So take the position, highlight it, copy it, put it on the second footage. It will be super small, but that's okay. This one like this, and okay, but we can play with that later. Let's go ahead and make this to an alpha matte of the matte layer right here. So basically now if we would scale this up, it would not leave outside the white ring we have created. But now it is 3D tracked, so when we look at this, this doesn't look cool yet. You can see why it doesn't have that parallaxing effect. It doesn't have the realistic parallaxing effect this effect should have, alright? So we have to change this. What we can do is go ahead and move this in Z space far away back. Like this. And then we just scale it up again. And understand, scaling up footage will lose some visual quality, but there's ways to work around that. Since we are putting some heat distortion, it doesn't matter because that will conceal the whole stuff here. So now let's look at this. So when you're working now, since we put it further away in Z space, so if this is our 0 and I'm like in +5, now we put this in -5, so it's further back. So realistically now we have parallaxing effect since it's further back in Z space. So now I'm working around the camera and we can see stuff happening. Alright, you can always play with this. You can put it even further down, scale it up once more so we fill the corners. Let's go back to the beginning. So now when we move around the camera, we get this portal parallaxing effect when we move like around the portal. That looks pretty epic. This is probably one of the most biggest selling points of this effect, is this parallaxing effect here. Alright, so we got that down and all the way. Now we have to go ahead and fine tune this effect a little bit. So let's go ahead and add some glows to the effect, and after that we're pretty much almost done here. So how we're gonna go add some glows? Let's go ahead and select the portal ring comp, the ring comp itself. And let's go ahead and go to the effects and presets and find glow. Okay, this looks pretty freaking terrible. Okay, we have to change some things here. Okay, let's keep the threshold at 60% and let's just bump the radius up to something like 250. Boom, now we got some glow, some ambience glow. Let's go ahead, if we go ahead and change about a little bit around this, yeah, let's keep it at 60. 60% is pretty good because then it starts to change the color. We don't want it to change the color. So now we got just a really simple ambient glow, and this really helps to settle this effect into this warehouse area, since it's blue and casting blue glows. And then we want just also a little small like edge glow. Now we just have this ambient glow. We want some tighter glow at the edges of the flames. How I'm gonna do this is duplicate our portal ring comp. Then let's go to the other one here and let's go ahead and rename this to edge glow, right like this. Let's go ahead and delete that glow layer there. Let's go to fill, the fill effect. That would just give it like a solid color for the whole effect here. So if we solid it, it looks red. We don't want it to be red. Let's go ahead and make it to something like this, either to similar light blue, like this. So we can see it looks like this now. Then let's go ahead and take the fast blur effect and drop it in here. And let's blur it out something like 40 pixels. So got this edge blur. And then let's change the blending mode to add. Like this. Now let's drop the opacity down to something like 25%. Boom. So let's go ahead and put that on and off. It's just this small edge blur, edge glow here. This is looking pretty solid. I really like how the effect is turning out. Something we can do to match it even more to our S-log comp here, we can go ahead and add a tint effect No, we're not gonna make this black and white. Let's make a tint effects and put it on the portal ring to make it black and white and drop the amount of tint to something like 20 pixels. 20%. Just so we take a bit of that vibrance away, so like this. And when we do our color grades, it looks pretty fantastic afterwards. Okay, so we have pretty much done the effect here, and there's one more thing I want to create, but you don't have to do this, and I'll go over this very briefly. So I want to add some heat distortion on this effect, and how I will do that is that I will create an adjustment layer, and that adjustment layer will create a circular mask around the portal, a little bit bigger than the portal itself. Then I will add a curves adjustment, drop the opacity just so we can see where the adjustment layer is restricting. And then I will just manually and roughly animate the mask pathing of that the adjustment layer around the portal throughout the whole composition. And once I have done that, I will go ahead and add a heat distortion plugin from Video Copilot themselves to make a quick and dirty heat distortion that really sells this effect. But you don't have to use a plugin since that costs money. You don't have to use this. I have a couple other tutorials where I have shown how to create heat distortion for yourselves, and click on the cards if you want to learn how to create your own heat distortion and put that on there. And after you have put the heat distortion on, just to sell the effect a little bit more, it looks pretty freaking rad having that effect on there. Then the last step is to add your favorite kind of color grade. And voila, you have created for yourself your own portal effect. It looks pretty freaking cool. I am super proud of this effect, the outcome, and hope you guys you are too of this outcome and really dig this. So now you have created your own portal effect. Boom, we have reached the end. Thanks so much for watching. Crush that like button if you haven't already, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss anything in the future. All these cool effects are dropping out all the time, so make sure you're not missing on anything. And hey, my name is VK, thanks for sticking around. See you guys in the next video.